you know, this may be maybe not exactly what everyone has on their, uh, their that their slate, so to speak, in terms of what maybe the last reading we had. But I'll just read nevertheless what Miss um, Patricia Pat has put together for us in her writing of everything that has come in, been revised, and in shape, form, and fashion in the latest write-up that we've come to terms with. The name, of course, is Action League of South County. The mission statement, as she has written it, an alliance of public interest advocates and diverse community leadership representing the South County districts of both 8 and 9, assembled to create a common singular voice regarding community issues directed towards county, state, and federal entities. On the purpose and goal objective, a dual purpose, we have in parentheses, to inform and educate our community, to help create a common voice and develop a consensus when addressing issues to the state, county, and federal government officials, entities, slash entities, as it relates to the quality of life and public interest matters. Then we get into the strategic 7-point initial operation plan. She has formation of alliance leadership, number one. Number two, determine strategy and methods of operation. Number three, select pertinent and primary issues to advocate for or against that affect the residents in District 8 and 9. Number four, we have create a report card identifying the performance of our elected officials, both positive and negative. Rate and evaluate the performance of our elected officials, I guess in more specific terms. Number five, we have present action lead to community and public to market the importance of creating groups of leaders and advocates to establish credibility, viability, worth, and merit. Number six, maintain a consistent oversight of county, state, federal entities that directly and indirectly influence and affect quality of community life and lifestyle of district of lifestyle in District 8 and 9. Although it says 7-point plan, it's actually six there that I think we finally agree upon to be the final number of those strategic points. Then we get into suggested first topic issues. Number one was to address poor quality of responsiveness of elected officials toward community outreach organizations. And number two was public safety issues that are life and limb threats in nature common to all community residents. I think this has been sent out to all of us, at least I hope it has, in the form I just read. Now, of course, I don't believe anything to be necessarily, and I see Ms. Monroe's on the line. Thank you, Ms. Monroe, for putting that together, that what I just read. I think, we will always be not necessarily static and rigid in how we formulate our, mission statement as we progress, as we grow, as we move down the road in time and experience. But I think this is a good start. And just in my opinion, it's a good start in moving towards a common point of having identity and how we want to form and direct ourselves towards mission and purpose. That being said, one of the things I wanted to do tonight, outside of any other questions, maybe in regard to the reading I've just given to us, was something I think very important to start early, and in addition to moving towards the subject matters of what we said about responsiveness in our towards our government officials and also public safety issues as well. One of the things I wanted to suggest to you as a topic for tonight is to try to create a committee from amongst us who are here on the line. I see there are 9 people who are here on the line, and this can be kind of a subtopic of an area of concern that we can formulate, but a committee that can start putting together the report card. And when I say the report card, I'm talking about what will be the tenets of what we want to create as the qualifying tenets of the report card. In other words, when we begin to evaluate those public officials who we want to hold accountable, who we want to basically analyze and scrutinize their time in office, their responsiveness to us, their attention to the community affairs, those types of things. What are going to be the tenets that we actually evaluate them on? And I thought about this in the interim time since our last meeting, that I think that would be a good thing for a subcommittee amongst us to begin to formulate those tenets that we can use as the evaluating analysis that would formulate the report card. So I'll just put that out there as a matter of discussion before we get into other matters of discussion here tonight, and see what you all think about it as a body. Anybody, please chime in on your opinion.
I just put something in the chat.
I see Ms. Monroe's put a.
Go ahead, Ms. Monroe.
Oh, I just put a note in the chat, and I said I don't mean to put anyone on the spot, but Mr. Jones has done this before.
Okay.
Good evening, Mike.
I just wanted to because I had already made a note about the report card, and I had made a note to myself to define the evaluation criteria. I think that evaluation criteria and the elements that we use to measure their performance is a function of what the politicians always say to us: accountability and transparency. And I think we can take accountability and transparency and use it for all the issues that are dear to us. Were they accountable and transparent regarding the battery lithium storage facility? Were they accountable and transparent regarding 210? Were they accountable and transparent regarding the $27 million for the police lawsuit that ended up in $27 million that no one still to this day have told us how did that run amok that way? So I think the two elements are accountability and transparency. And with that, you use that to measure the responsiveness, the accountability, and the transparency regarding the issues that impact our daily lives.
Okay, that's so transparency, and what was the other
and accountability, because all these politicians use those two words as if they come directly from the Bible. And yet the only transparency that we see is through their defecation for the most part. And there's no accountability.
Okay. Now, when we break those two terms down in terms of transparency, how would we break that down in terms of specifics? In other words, let me put it in this way: in terms of let's say the road safety issue and transparency, would we? I'm just using this as a hypothetical. Would we say something like, "Okay, have you been a part of legislation to move towards, more, like a bill for accountability, or more fines, or do you have a public platform statement that for your take on road safety?" I'm just using, again, as a hypothetical. When we break those terms down, because those are broad scope terms, transparency and accountability, they have merit. They both are very much on target. But to break them down into in terms of terms where there's specific targets.
And by which you can measure them. And Reverend String, you're right on point. For instance, like 210. You and Ron, when I met with you and Ron to do the podcast, you guys had great data. What you guys was telling me and what you were telling the listening audience was data driven.
Right.
So I think we could take the background and data on these issues in our community. Again, using 210, you said that the cameras didn't work. the speed continued, the citing, the tickets that were not given, yet, you know, the speed continues, the fatalities continue to increase. So I think when you craft the data, then you can measure their responsiveness against the data.
Okay.
Against the data. So for each issue that we cite, we need to have the data.
Right.
For those particular issues. Like I said, with 210, the data is already there.
Yeah.
Have they been responsive to the data? This is
Yeah.
not our data. You guys have data from the feds, from the locals, from the state. I mean, you guys got a wealth of information to support that something needs to be done. So
Right.
when you take that and use that background data as a synopsis, then I think that's what you would measure them against.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it would be data driven in terms of the measurement.
Okay. Data driven. Okay.
Data driven, yes.
Okay. That's very good. Now, anyone else? Because see here, what I'm asking essentially is asking anyone that's a part of this body here tonight. Would you like to be a part of that formulated committee or gathering that would put those into the, you know, discernment of tenet points? Okay, these are the points that we're going to use in this report card to evaluate you, to assess, you know, your time in office. You know, how, you know, these are, and of course these are major issues regarding, you know, District 89, and we're not talking about all Prince George's County, but we're talking about District 89. How are you on these data points? How are you on these data-driven areas of concern that we know that is a very importance to all of the people here in these two districts? I see Brother Herb Jones has his hand up. So Herb, please go ahead and let us have your understanding.
It's kind of hard to follow Mr. Banner, but I'm going to do my best here. So when I think about the report card, and Patricia said, "Oh yeah, Herb knows." Well, I was part of generating a report card when I was working district government through the environmental network. They had a report card they did for all the council members, and believe me, no council member wanted to get a C. I can just tell you that, because it was data driven and fact driven. Okay, no projection, no certification. It was based on fact. So as we're talking, I looked at a couple of categories. 210 public safety, environmental impact statement, BESS, which is the battery storage, the lawsuit, redistricting, transparency, and the whole redistricting issue, right? Housing. There's been a big issue, I understand, from residents in my community about appraisal value. So these are issues that have been sort of ongoing, and we can sort of put the person's legislative record to that. What did they do? Did they support this bill? Did they introduce legislation for redistricting? Was there transparency? When they decided to do the rewrite, how many public hearings did they have?
Yeah.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't get around that. So they only had one when this is my understanding now, and based on some things that I read, when the redistricting committee was moving forward, they had like 26 community engagements throughout the county. Right? When at the last minute, folks decided to do the rewrite, one hearing, and then 2 days later to vote. Is that transparency? Now, it doesn't matter what side you're on, but could you call that transparency? So those are sort of my thoughts.
I got Ms. Taylor, I think.
I just want to make a statement, Mr. Jones. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Ms. Taylor.
Foremost. Okay, now I am interested in this subcommittee, but I'm hoping I'm able to do it, because we got a lot of stuff going on right now, but I do want to be on his. However, I just want to say we got to really, the one thing you said, Mr. Jones, you talked about the redistricting. I think the issue is you don't have most of those people on the council anymore that you want to, you got the 2 at large, and you got Mr. Denoga.
You have Mr. Denogo, you have Hawkins, you have Burrows, you have
Burrows was no.
Oh,
Bert
Frank
was
Smith.
not, no, he wasn't there. I'm saying you might have 3, maybe 4 out of the total.
Yeah,
That
that
is
was
true.
there,
That is
that
true.
was there, doing the
Oh, yeah,
redistricting.
right.
And
Right.
that's when you got the
Hawkins,
people, yeah, you got the people,
yeah.
the people agenda. That's what created it. So,
We
yeah,
may have to scratch that. I understand. I agree.
sir.
Judge.
Yes, sir.
I concur. I'm scratching it as we speak. You're right. Because you have to have the total council
Well-
to do a report card on the total council.
Mhm.
I concur.
Yeah, well,
But
that's
I
why,
think also, to me, I know certain things, I know we have to be specific,
Mhm.
but don't we have to, I think that's more of a subcommittee discussion on as far as when you say your tenants, and because you got to kind of look broad, because
Remember now, these are things just for District 89, right? I mean,
I
we're
know
not,
when you say, okay, this is my concern. So some of this is based on the mission statement, you're looking at state, local, and federal.
Mhm.
So if you're doing a report card, right now I'm hearing that we're just singling out the council. What about state? What
Yeah,
about,
I mean, but what I'm saying that the topics would be, we don't want to get into the larger spectrum of what's happening all over the county.
no,
But no, we're talking about things like, say for instance, this battery storage thing. That's a local issue. Where are you with that? You know, the battery storage. You know what I'm saying? 210. Where are you with that? Where are you with crime here between these two districts? You know, that sort of thing. So we want
yeah,
to,
and that's what I mean by, to me, that's more broad than, I mean, I guess we do need to focus on, like you're saying, the battery issue. Okay, I'm good.
okay.
No,
as another local issue for you guys is the storage facility.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we mean with the battery. That's what we're talking about, the
Not
battery.
not that one, but the other storage. You guys got another storage, I think, down the street from where Herb lives.
yeah, they want to build a
Another storage facility
they
there as
want
well.
to build a storage facility and a warehouse behind the motorcycle shop.
Oh, I wasn't
Right.
aware of that. Yeah.
Caddy Drive, down by
Right.
Caddy Drive.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
so,
this is,
so those issues are specifically tailored for districts 8 and 9
yes,
Mhm.
yes,
on a local level.
yes.
On
Yeah.
a very
Then you
local
also
level.
have the issue with what are they gonna do with Rosecroft? Because you know they
That's
tried to put a storage facility there, and then across from Shoppers, and even on the Shoppers lot. On the Shoppers lot, they're trying to put townhouses. You know, that's development, but what about infrastructure? We
Yeah.
need to address the infrastructure in this county
Right.
somewhere on that report card.
Yes.
Because the infrastructure in this area is horrible. Wait till they put them 70 townhomes down there across from that new Livingston Road, that warehouse. I mean, the Livingston Road Giant and their McDonald's. Across the street from that, they're putting 70 where's that traffic going?
Yeah.
And that's what I
So
mean by,
those are the things that are coming to our area that we need to see where they stand on that type of stuff.
Yeah.
right, and that's
The
what I,
BESS is not a problem anymore as of today.
the what?
Mhm.
The what? I'm sorry, Miss.
The battery storage.
Mhm.
Yeah, everything. But that's what I mean as far as see, like when you say infrastructure, you can point out different things versus looking at one specific things. That's what I mean by that. Because it's a caveat of things. It sounds political when you hone in on one thing. It has to be an umbrella of things that go under a category. And
Right.
that's what I'm saying. If that makes sense.
If I can respond to Ms. Taylor, she is absolutely right. I've had here in my notes. So under each one of these broad categories I had little bullets underneath, because you're right. You have to have specifics,
Yep.
because they're gonna say, so, you know, I'm not gonna mention this council member. This particular council member talked about generating environmental impact statement 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I'm gonna do an environmental impact statement, I'm gonna present it. So that was 3 years ago. So, you know, not calling him out or her out, but looking at their record, what they said versus what they did. But you're right, under these broad headings, then you have to have specifics in
Mhm.
which to grade the person to say,
Right.
okay, you know, under this whole issue about low appraisals in Prince George's County.
Mhm.
I've been out here 5 years. That's all I hear about from my neighbors. These low appraisals they get when they're trying to sell and move their home. Whole article. This has been a big deal in the county.
Right, right.
What is your legislative record on that, Mr.
Yeah,
Council,
yeah.
Mr. Council member? That would be
Exactly.
legitimate.
Right.
Yes.
What are you doing to improve that to make sure we get the same value for the same square footage, the way our homes are set up nice?
Yeah.
Opposed to some other area that has a smaller home, their appraisal value is
Yeah,
higher.
yeah.
That's an important, to me, that's an important issue to all residents in District 7 and 8, right? 7 and
8 and 9. 8 and 9.
8 and 9. 8 and 9.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
8 and 9.
Yeah, and see that's honing in on specific. See, and this is where we have to do our homework. Who we put in office, who we're electing, are they there? Are they helping the community, or are they helping, you know, the developers? I mean, you know, in other words, your voting record and how these things implant themselves in the community, in terms of something that's congenial to a quality of life, or are they things to become an obstacle to a quality of life? You know, this is what this committee I'm reaching out to basically have that type of focus on those issues, and that way we're scrutinizing our elected officials. We're making them do their homework basically on behalf of the community now, where they hopefully they're not drifting off doing things that perhaps help them in terms of getting donations from, you know, these private concerns that benefit from, you know, overdevelopment or infrastructure, doing roadways and you know, to set at the behest of the community, things of that nature. This is a very important committee I'm speaking towards in terms of its formulation, in terms of its oversight, in terms of its targeting the proper types of tenants that are really community oriented concerns that we need to say, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Council person, what has been your record on this? This is what we see. You know, we're calling you out in terms of, you explain to us why you voted this way. Why are you feeling this way? From what we can see, this is our evaluation of that vote line that you've had. This is our evaluation from our community. You know, the way, you know, and this is all, you know, saying that we're in touch with the community, how the community's feeling about this. Keeping our personal biases out, but we want to make sure we're in touch with our communities in our evaluation. So, you know, that's what I'm asking. I think it's a very, very important part of this whole, you know, this South County coalition that we're talking about, to have that kind of scrutinizing power. It would probably be the most important part of this assemblage of gathering of leaders, because between this report card, we put it out there and put it in its proper format. It can be the make or break who goes in office. It can be the make or break of how they function in office. I think it can be the most important aspect of this coalition, in its power, in what it has in terms of its evaluating power, in long and short term, identifying that person. And believe me, I think Herb will probably attest to this. When you were doing it in the city, that report card probably tagged that person for some time, not just at the point they receive it, but down the road, because, you know, you get identified as, you know, not doing your job, or maybe doing your job wrong. It's going to follow you one way or the other in your political career.
In the absence of any type of litmus test that you referenced to, Reverend, you will never be able to hold these politicians accountable, much less have any type of transparency. And that's why we are in this condition we are in this county today, because you don't have either one. You have a lot of lip service, but
Yeah.
you don't have no accountability or transparency.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, I think Miss Monroe has her hand up. Miss Monroe? Yes.
Yes, I have a quick one. I think we should probably have two separate report cards, one for our state delegates and then one for our county council.
I
And
mean,
then that way, maybe it might take more than one committee. It might take the committee and break it down, and one focuses on state and the other focus on the council. One of the other things that should go on there are those tobacco shops and Wawas and things they letting popping up well, especially the tobacco shops
Hmm.
that they're letting pop up on every corner in this county.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if
Uh,
it's a part of the community concern, it should be,
Yep.
dealt with on that report card. Yeah.
But I think with the report card, going a little further, the executive branch has a need to be report card too, because the executive branch is the one that the services come through. So it's not just the council, the state, got to be the executive branch too, because the executive branch is the one that have all the services that we supposed to have and how
Yes.
we're doing.
Yeah, they are the delivery agent
service-
for
okay,
services
exactly.
for this
Yeah.
county.
Mhm.
But I
Yep.
saw, I think I mentioned this to the Reverend. I saw 4 categories of apartheid in this county. There was food apartheid, where you can get tobacco and liquor faster than you can get a tomato or a cucumber. There was ecological apartheid, speaking to the lithium battery. There was medical apartheid. Going to the emergency room exacerbates the emergency. And then there was the appraisal apartheid, where just my face showing up in the doorway reduces the value of my home by $20,000 to $30,000
Yeah.
just by the color of my skin.
Yeah. I think Brother Herb, thank you for that
Oh,
presentation there.
I was, okay. I want to respond to something that Ms. Monroe said. There are a lot of great ideas coming up out of discussions. I was about to make a motion for, nominating Ms. Taylor and Mr. Banner, but I thought that would be probably inappropriate, so I'm not going to do that. Spearheading this committee. But moving forward, in terms of Ms. Monroe said, in terms of the state and the county council, I think we get this report card hard and fast at the local and the county exec's office first. We get that locked in first.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Then gradually move to the state.
Okay.
Because all politics are local. So
Yes.
our initial focus should be local,
Okay.
in my view.
Yeah, that makes a good line. Here's the thing, what I'm going to suggest to all of our consideration at this point. I would like a lot of this in-depth discussion to be, once we get those who would like to be on the committee, for that committee to have those types of in-depth discussions, because on the committee, first of all, you're gonna just like what you just raised the point, Brother Herb, in terms of localizing it first. That's a very good meritorious point, but that's a discussion I would like for that committee to have. Okay, where's the targeted area of the report card going to be first? That would be hashed out within that committee. What are going to be the tenets? What are the things that are going, in other words, that's where that committee basically formulates the doctrines that will comprise of the report card, in its genesis, in its operation, and those that are being targeted to receive it. I would like that committee to have that type of autonomy to do that, and then you report back to the main body here. Okay, these are the areas of where we have are concerned. What we're looking at. This is what we're trying to formulate. You can report back in terms of your stagings of your progress, your targeting, what have you, whatever it is that you're doing. But you have the autonomy to put this together and just basically move in the direction I think you feel the flavor of all of us want to go as a community in being able to hold our elected officials accountable. That's where my particular feeling is for it. I just give it back to you in the body. This is what I would like for us to hopefully be able to at least get some initial committee members. As Ms. Taylor said, she would like to be on it, and others who may want to be a part of that committee as well. And here's the reason I'm saying, because we're going into political year, we need to go ahead and start getting, our ducks in a row to be prepared and to move forward in line with the importance of going into this next year. So it's never too late to start. So we got to start with members who want to be a part of it. They form their their doctrine, and then we put it in practice as we need to have it done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's just move forward. I'm a person that likes to just go, right into the the issue at hand. The issue at hand is formulating a subcommittee to formulate a report card for all things discussed here tonight. Ms. Taylor said she would be allowed to be a part of it. I'll just leave it to any of the rest of you who would like to be a part of that committee, that subcommittee.
Yes, I would like to be a part of it.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, so Delonte Harrison. Okay, we have two so far. Ms. Taylor
And Mr. Banner and Mr. Jones.
and Mr. Jones and Ms.
You know
Banner.
what?
Are you being
For some reason,
elected? Or are you being
what, for some
being drafted?
for some reason, my speaker's not working. I can't hear you.
Get mad at Mr. Jones.
Okay. No, you can't make a suggestion and hit the sideline. I concur. Okay. All right. Okay, now what about Ms. Taylor? I need that same intensity with Mr. Banner, because you mentioned my
I already
name.
told Mr. Banner here.
Okay. All right, okay. And thank you, Mr. Harris. Okay, so we it's a good team. I was looking here though, because these report cards are called many things. They're called scorecards.
I like scorecard.
Yeah, Jeff. I think the scorecard sounds a little better, but we'll work that out in committee.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, okay. Work that out in committee. Okay.
Okay, great. I mean, now that's moving forward. Now we've got four of you, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Banner, Mr. Harrison, and Mr. Jones.
And
Yes.
Dr. Green, if I can say, protocol calls for usually the chairman of such a group.
We don't need a chairman. We can handle this.
I mean, you know what I mean? The chairman is part of all committees. So I just want to demonstrate that it's open. It's open for him to participate. I just didn't want to think that we were just going to.
Well, here's what I would like to suggest is that you as a committee have the autonomy of how you want to structure yourselves.
Okay.
Now, Herb, I know that you've had experience from being in the district government. And so, that would be a great value. And if you're not, you don't have a lead person, but you have someone who's had experience in yourself with something that has already mimicked and mirrored what we're talking about putting together. So, in terms of the structure, I think we've identified, the tenant, some of the possible tenants that will be part of the evaluation terminologies and points of interest. Mr. Banner talked about transparency and accountability. That's the overall desire in a comprehensive terms, but then specifically what goes under transparency, what goes under accountability, what are the topics of concern of your voting record under these under these types of point of value merits that we're looking at. So but that would be up to you all how you want to put it in narrative term and in tenant terms, that sort of thing. I think hopefully I'm making myself clear, but that you have the accountability to do that, because all of this is new. Remember this coalition is new. This report card is new. So it reflects, really the setting a precedent for something that we're putting in place. There's no right or wrong to it. It just reflects how we're feeling about what we need to do to hold our elected officials accountable and have transparency. So what does that look like? Well, it looks like what you put together. And there's not going to be any wrong or right in it. It's something that we'll work with until we refine it to the point where we're all satisfied with it and put it in practice. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, Robin.
Okay. I got amen on that sermon. That'll work. Okay. So again, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Banner, Mr. Harrison, and Mr. Jones, we have our first subcommittee, and that will be, let's see, Ms. Monroe, will we getting that? We got our first subcommittee of our report card or scorecard. I think the last thing we talked about scorecard or whatever the terminology that you all want to come up with.
We'll work through that.
We'll work through that.
We'll work through that once our chairman, Ms. Taylor, sets up the first meeting.
Okay.
That was really slick.
See, see, see.
See, back at you, right?
I'm trying to figure out how Miss Monroe is not on here, yet she nominated
Oh
me.
boy, here comes the fly paper. You're gonna catch you.
Well, that's okay.
I
Mr.
was gonna nominate her too.
There's gonna be other committees.
I know.
And
I
Sharon and
so long.
Monroe. So yeah, we have a spot for them. So don't
Yeah,
worry.
that's why I left her alone.
See, I'm a step up when it comes to getting on this county's nerves about them not being able to take care of the things that need to be taken care of.
Well, this is. I'll tell you what. This one is gonna have the number 44 bat with it. I think you can swing to knock some home runs out of it, because this particular committee, the way I see it, is going to be the heavyweight of this whole coalition. It really is. It's going to be a lot comes out of that. So
And let me just note here that I don't live in either District 8 or 9.
Mhm.
I represent Prince George's County Community Development Corporation, which is for the entire 499 square miles.
okay.
So I want to use this vehicle to expand this to other districts within the county.
Okay.
So I'm here to represent District 6. That's where I live. So
Okay.
I would introduce that to be part of this as well. And I would hope that we could expand this through the podcast that our radio station has
Okay.
to expand it for the entire county so that it would really have some leverage and major impact.
Well, it looks like you're getting some committee. Look like you're going to get some media attention already.
And if I can just add this, so when I think about this, I don't want no one on this call to believe this report card or scorecard is punitive in nature. What we've learned through this battery energy storage process, we were able to both get educated about different agencies in the county and also educate the county.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. It's residents working with the elected officials, whether you support them or not, they're your elected officials. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But how we
Yeah.
move together
Right.
cooperatively is in everybody's best interest. So this is not an adversarial thing. This is hey, we're trying
Yeah.
to move this needle forward, so this county can continue to be the great county that it is, and we can
Yes.
make it great.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
so I just wanted to put that out there.
John's saying it's not.
Herb,
It's
I'm
not-
gonna correct you on that. The great county it was designed to be.
Thank you, Ms. Monroe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's our design will only be as meritorious as the people who work it out. In other words, it's no better than the weakest link in it. And I think this is I think what Herb is saying, this is how we strengthen ourselves. Many times we don't learn through successes, we learn through failures. And we're not talking about putting people under the gun to destroy them. We're talking about healthy critique that is good for both sides of the equation. You sometimes we all have blind spots. I mean, as human beings, as agencies, there are things that we don't see. Sometimes we're too close to them. We can't see what we need to see because for different reasons. But when we have healthy critique, critique that's designed for improvement, not for destructive purposes. I think it helps everybody because we learn some things we may not even thought about because somebody is saying, well, wait a minute, what about this particular perspective that you hadn't looked at or you're not thinking about? That's really a heavyweight concern for this community. What about that? Well, I didn't know that. Well, you didn't know it. Now we're bringing it out to you, and for these reasons, And so we need some change in that. So, you know, it's healthy critique. And I thank you for bringing out this point, Herb. This is not a destructive mechanism. It's not designed to destroy people. It's designed to make improvement. You know, to make people aware that there's some concerns that the community has that you know you may have missed for different reasons. We just want to make sure that they get addressed. And by you knowing about it and how we're feeling about it as a committee, you know, representing the community, hopefully we can make this particular aspect better for all of us. That's how we improve. That's how we grow. That's how we, you know, we move down the line in all types of aspects in a better format today than we were yesterday. So that's why we're doing this. It's not to destroy anybody. It's to bring improvement.
I believe that this committee is going to give them. We are leaders, and we're going to give them direction.
Yes.
I think this scorecard is going to put them on point that they need to follow these things. Whatever we come up with, to follow these things throughout the county in our county, to make sure they hit these points, to make sure we're watching you, we're recording you and making sure that you do abide by the citizens, because we're the leaders, and we're you know, you have to, because we can't. You know, we can always wait till after and score them. Oh, he's F and B. No, we got to put them on point when we say, hey, you've been evaluated by the community, and these are going to score you. So these are the issues and points that you need to fulfill to keep the, you know, when you stay in office. So we can be there for you when you're trying to get back in office and things like that. You want to make your report card better.
Yeah.
This is going to be really powerful thing that we're doing, because we have a lot of people that we represent, and we are leaders, and they're going to have to make sure that they're on the P's and Q's and really understand who they're working for.
Yeah.
We need to hold them accountable for the things that they ran on, the things that they promised us when they were wanting our votes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think more times than often they get in and they forget. They get caught up in their political aspirations and forget all about the constituents' concerns, the issues, and the well-being.
Yes.
And I know for a fact, just from the experience that I've had and the connection that I've had with certain officials, and there haven't been a lot of them, but I've come away feeling like, why did you even bother to become a public official? I've been asked that question to one of them once, and without naming a name, they never came up with an answer. But I knew I answered for the person.
Yes.
And I said, just straight up, oh, I know what the answer is. Your political aspiration, your security and job, and just climbing up the ladder and being a public, you know, a big time person. That's all it was about. And the person never even said, no, Mrs. Lawrence, that's not true. You have that wrong. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it, because that would have been lying right in my face.
Yeah.
So I think the accountability part is most important. We need to hold them to what they said that they were going to do. Maybe we should even ask them, why are you in this position? Really?
Yes.
Can we trust you?
Yeah. And this becomes the vehicle to do that. And you're so very much on point, Ms. Lawrence. Let me just want to say this. Mr. Banner said, sounds like, he said, democracy is a participatory sport. You got to get in the game. And he's so right on that. But let me just show you the power that this committee has thus far. There's something that's happened here within the last month or so to give you an idea of where just coming together as we have, I believe, has already got attention to some named politicians. There was a meeting held back here. I think it was the last part of July or first part of August. Can't remember exactly the date, but it was a delegates meeting that was held in Accokeek, in the Accokeek Library. And there was Senator Muse, Miss Veronica Turner's represented, Veronica Turner was there, Jamila Woods was there, and I think a representative from Valderrama's office. So the three delegates and the senator was there at the meeting, holding this to basically report on the matters at hand, reporting to those who came to that meeting. Twice within the presentation, I heard something that let me know, somebody, I guess, from this meeting, or somebody let them know about this coalition coming together. Senator Muse said twice, we have got to be more responsive. And Brother Herb was there. He heard it too. He said, we've got to be more responsive. And I took that as in this way. Somebody has told him that we've come together for this reason. And I think it's going up the grapevine to let them know that we've come together because we have not got that responsiveness, because he mentioned it twice in the terminology in all the things we've been talking about, and the reason why we formulate ourselves. He said we got to be more responsive. So somebody has told them. So already, just by this group coming together, it's kind of put people on notice, but in the right way, and that, there's been some dissatisfaction of business as usual in districts 8 and 9. It's been some dissatisfaction to the point where people have assembled themselves to come together for the group at hand. And it's gotten back up to them in ways that one of the mainline reasons that we've come together is because of the irresponsiveness. So can you imagine from you putting a scorecard now together and the weight that will carry when you start itemizing areas of concern? Can you imagine that weight? You understand what I'm saying? You've already got attention by just coming together. You've already got it. Now all you have to do is yield your power constructively. And this scorecard we're talking about is a vehicle of proper constructive critique that can make everybody better on both sides of the equation, those representing us and those being represented. Does that make sense? That's where things are.
No doubt.
You've already got notice.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to make this fact and data driven.
Yes.
Not personal,
Right, not personal.
Not emotional.
Exactly.
Not emotional, not revengeful, not get back.
Mm-hmm.
But the facts and the data speak for themselves.
Yeah. So I applaud each one of you as leaders in your perspective, right, representing this community, that you've already got noticed. And one of the main areas for bringing everybody together has already put a tick mark on their screen that, look, we got to do something about this area of our representation. We've got to be more responsive. Herb can tell you, he was right there, heard the same as I did. So now it's being constructive, is being, as Mr. Banner said, using data-driven facts, for why we're feeling this way and why we're feeling that, each politician, each person that's elected official, we're looking, we're watching, and this is our evaluation on our, our scrutiny for these reasons. That's not personal, but this is what the facts tell us.
Right.
Right, and if I can just add, Reverend Screen.
Yes.
Reverend Screen is being very nice, you all, but at that meeting, the lady got up and said, I've called your office several times.
Yes.
I've emailed and have gotten no response. What are you guys doing? And he was actually embarrassed. And he said, okay, we're going to get better. I promise you, we're going to return phone calls, emails, etc.
Yeah.
She said it point blank.
Yeah.
When I contact y'all, I don't get a response. I don't get an acknowledgement, etc.
Yeah.
Now, where I come from, having worked in the district, lived in the district, lived in Virginia, that was almost unheard of, folks. That was only, you didn't get a response, an acknowledgement of your email, or you didn't get a return call.
Yes.
I'm talking about, she said she didn't get a return call
Yeah.
3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
No response, 3 weeks, 4 weeks
That's right.
from the people you elect.
So
Unacceptable.
That may seem small, but it sort of starts there.
yes.
Last point, when Anthony Williams, Mayor of District 11, came in office, he had one goal. Whenever district government agency phone rang, it was going to be picked up on the fourth ring, the fourth.
Okay.
And he evaluated every agency on that, brought him
Yeah.
into budgets. He evaluated. Everybody better been on point. So you have people answering the phones. The
Yeah,
folks are answering the phones in the district.
yeah.
So, okay.
Well, this is the power that I feel this particular subcommittee will have. Because wherever you feel the emphasis needs to be, that will be one of the tenets by which you will use. Hold on a minute. So anyway, I thank you, each one of you, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Banner, Mr. Harrison, and Mr. Jones. Our first subcommittee on a very, very important aspect and portion of this coalition, this South County Action League. Very important. Now, I don't have any other particular things personally that I wanted to convey. I'll just leave it open to any of you, if anything that you all had since our last meeting. And you see, Miss Pat, Miss Monroe, when are we slated to come back again? Is the second Monday of October? Would that be the date?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. And that particular date is, let me see.
Let's see, I'm looking at my calendar. We're looking at the 9th of October.
Yes. Oh, wait a minute, let's see, wait a minute. Yeah, 9th of October, that's right. That's Columbus Day, so, or Indigenous Day, however you want to term it. But that will be that particular date. I wanted to make sure before anybody drops off, we get that in locked in our schedule. So
Let me ask a quick administrative question. Is there any way, and Ms. Monroe, thank you for all that you're doing, that we can get a list of the names and phone numbers and contact persons to each of us, especially to our new chair of our committee, Taylor. So I want to make sure that she has, we all need to have everybody's contact.
yeah, I agree.
But especially the chairman's going forward, that she's one of many, but right now she's our newest chair.
I ain't fooling you, Mr. Jones.
Well, he's fine.
Sure, why don't we just have a complete list, and I'll do a spreadsheet and list committees and have a place for them, what committee each individual's on. How's that? Would that
Yeah.
work? That'll make it real easy. So as committees come on, you'll know who's on what committee
Yes,
and who, but we'll have a whole list of everybody that has signed up to be a part of this
yes, that sounds
action
excellent.
league.
So we need to chime in our contact information to you, Ms. Monroe. Is that pretty much?
Yes.
What you're saying? Yes. Why don't we do that? If we can
And
all,
what I'll do, Reverend Screen, I'll just send out an email to
okay,
everybody and ask them to please send me their phone numbers, et cetera, so we can compile a complete list and we will share that list with everyone.
yes,
Or
that
is it
sounds,
something we can do right now by just putting it in the chat real quick? I'm just asking. I'm not a technical person.
Oh, for the four of you all, I have all of you all's numbers.
okay,
Okay, but
I
you
have,
can make sure Ms. Taylor.
I have
has-
Miss Taylor's, I have Delonte's,
Mhm.
I have why's she shaking her head?
Cause he acting out. He acting
Oh,
out here. I do have a question for our subcommittee. Are Mondays good?
now,
Monday-
Miss
Monday-
Taylor, remember now, you're gonna get hung up on Monday. Don't forget, we have the CAC meeting the third Monday.
Oh,
I hate to remind you, but yeah. So that's why we went with the second. So y'all can take the fourth Monday, or you can take the second Tuesdays, there's meetings too, because that's when District 8 holds their meetings.
Yeah,
what about the fourth? What about the fourth Monday?
She said that's good. Fourth Mondays are good.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do fourth Monday?
That's
You mean
good for me.
I'm talking for our subcommittee.
Our committee, yeah, we're good for the fourth Monday, but
So
I
that's
was
September the 25th. Just put it on your calendar.
okay.
September 20. Wait a minute.
Yeah, September.
25th.
Are you trying to meet in September, Madam Chair? Are you?
I am not the chair, however, We trying to work some things out.
Oh, no. You know what? I may have to rescind my,
Oh, boy, not already.
I'm about to check. Oh, you don't want to meet September 20th?
I'm not kidding, 25th. That works.
Madam Chair, I concur.
I ain't fooling with Mr. Banner either.
Look at this, man. Look mad if you concur. Okay, so the 25th works as long as we can maybe have the meetings at 6:30 and we stay out of that, you know, so we can be ending by 8. Is that doable?
Oh, I'm an hour person.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I was saying, I knew we picked the right person. Okay.
Okay.
Subcommittee.
So some of your deliverables may be, I mean, there's a consideration, your name that you really want to be called scorecard, you know, report card, whatever it is. You know, some outline of the general things. I mean, whatever way that you want to deal with transparency and accountability. You know, how that plays itself out on the I guess the priority topics you would say that are here for District 8 and 9. And who are you going to be targeting with this? I mean, is it going to go from the, you know, county exec down, or
the
just the
county
council
exec-
people, delegates, you know,
County
that sort of
exec-
thing.
Are we
Yeah,
done?
we'll talk about it in the committee.
Oh, yeah, that's all, you know, what you all would discuss. Okay.
I think one other thing that this undertaking will address is this proliferation of political dynasties that I see popping up around the county. I won't name no names, but you all know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to stop in the absence of all this no accountability. So you're just building these political dynasties with no accountability at all, just based on name recognition and no
Right.
performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna put a stop to a lot of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Well,
okay. Woo.
all right. Let's see, Ms. Lawrence, I have you down. You've been missing the scheduled Monday meeting due to attendance. Was that September 18th? Will that be Ms.
Every
Lawrence?
Monday up until December the 18th.
Until December 18th. I got you.
Yeah, but I'll stay connected through Pat.
Okay. Got you. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds great. We want to make sure we get you in the loop.
And we'll do anything else in between time.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, it's 7:33. I think we've been about a little in an hour in terms. Are there any other concerns that we can anyone wants to express or make a comment towards? I
Yes.
think yes.
Miss Pat,
Yes.
so you gonna send us an email so we can have each other information so we can you know, do what we need
Yes.
to do.
Yes, I will.
Thank you, love.
Okay. Okay, we got that. Ms. Pat's on top of that. And I think we've had a productive meeting. I really believe.
Yes.
Very productive. We got at least in some context, the you know, the mission and purpose statement. And I want to thank you, Ms. Pat, for all the work you've done and due diligence on that and everything else in terms of, you know, getting us on the mark with the email for the meeting. Very good work, Ms. Pat. Thank you so much.
Yes,
for
yes.
that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
And also now we have our first subcommittee, which you know, as I've already, you know, not to just keep tripping over myself, but I think it's the most important part of this committee, quite frankly, in many ways.
Mhm.
And so that's so you all have a huge area of responsibility, but also a significant portion for not just for this committee, but what you're speaking for is really the community of District 8 and District 9. I mean, this is a big part of the voice out of this committee. That scorecard, report card, whatever you decide to term it, it's a big part of this representation here. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for coming. Any last words that need to be said? Yes, Ms. Taylor.
I do think because all of us live in District 8, I think we do need someone from District 9.
9. Yeah.
So we
Good
got
point.
to get someone from District 9 on the committee.
Well, I think
Okay, so I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put out a quick email
Okay.
The fact that we created the committee tonight for
Mhm.
the report card and that we need a representative from District 9 to join. Will that work?
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent, excellent.
I can't hear you, Ms. Taylor. Does that work for you?
Say, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's a good point, though, Ms. Taylor. That's an excellent point. Excellent point.
Woo.
See, we're thinking. We're thinking. We're thinking.
Yep.
Amen to that. Listen, let me just say this. There's just a lot of stuff going on this roadway.
Yes.
As most of you know, I'm part of this 210 Traffic Safety Committee. Things are, I wish they was, I could say better, but pretty much in the status quo, it's not looking good. There's just a lot of stuff going on. We had our first fatality here a couple of weeks ago down here at Farmington Road and Indian Head Highway. Please, please, please drive defensively. Please, please watch out for yourself. Please watch your
Mhm.
speed. Please, please. We've gone all the way through to, almost 9 months without having a fatality. Last year we had 10. So we've come a long way, but every loss is a loss that's to a family. So we're trying to eradicate all of it as much as we can. So please, to each one of you, be safe, be blessed, and God willing, we'll come back again on October the 9th. And with the exception of Ms. Lawrence, will you be here with us in spirit?
Oh, she'll
Well,
be with
no,
us.
yeah, October the
Yeah.
9th, I will. We don't have to
Oh.
go that day because of the
But after that,
indigenous.
okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll be
gotcha.
here that day.
Okay.
Now, Sharon, I have one quick question. So,
Yes.
being you're going to be gone, if there's another committee that comes up, do I have the permission to volunteer you?
Okay, yes,
I'm
Pat.
just kidding.
I trust you, Pat. Okay, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, all right. Well, amen to that.
Mm. I
As
just want to
as
say
the
this,
man
you all.
said, my name is
Please,
Bennett and I ain't in it. And so I'll leave that alone there.
I'm gonna tell you all, please, please, please be safe in your driving. I used to
Yes.
teach defensive driving, and I used to tell people all the time, you do not have the right of way. Because
Yes.
you think you have the right of way, it
You
can
don't.
cost you your life.
Yes.
Let
Absolutely.
those crazy people go.
Yes. Yes.
Just
yes.
let
Yep.
them go.
Yes. The high speed we've had so far this year is 175 miles per hour.
Mm.
Oh, that beat last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we were a little bit, we were
68.
168, something like that. So
Mhm.
That's
one-
correct.
175. Yeah. So
Whew.
please be safe out there. And
Yeah.
God bless. And we'll see you, God willing, October 9th. And spread the word. We're moving ahead. We're doing a good thing.
Absolutely.
All right.
Right.
Amen.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Have
Take
a
care.
great evening.